Okie doke. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back, Alexandrian Codex. We can get started here. We're just gonna have a nice little easy spreadsheet stream where I go through and I either okay or nix certain names. We're not gonna be super emphasizing on being creative tonight. We're just going through doing some pretty basic maintenance, but just staying in the habit, practicing good hygiene. I might, once it's over, decide I want to do something else, but honestly, I'm entirely unsure. The first thing we gotta hop into, which I know everyone is desperately looking forward to, is the webcam. Is making sure this webcam is actually focused. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna practice the most ardent and genuine transparency that I possibly can. It's not gonna be focused. It's not gonna be lined up even. It's probably gonna look pretty bad, but hey, let's look. Well, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. It's a little low, but I'm sitting on my feet because I'm a fucking textbook bisexual. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You're mostly in focus today, dear. We can move it back a little bit to broaden that depth of field. And then we can get you in. There you go. Nice and easy. Beautiful. And there I am. Fantastic. This is pointed at me. That's pointed at me. Okay. All right. We're good to go. Bisexual. Bisexual, more like bisexual. Got him. So what we're looking at today, obviously, not very much. Because I am recording this, because I have vague aspirations to actually post this one to YouTube instead of saying I'm going to post it to YouTube and either recording it and not posting it, or recording it and deleting it immediately after, really depending on how it goes. Basically, if you see a VOD of me doing this make its way to YouTube, that means Cabra has not aggressively flirted with me enough to the point where I've broken at any point during that stream. It means that I haven't lost my mind at any point during that stream to the point where I'm like, this is stupid, why am I fucking doing this, I hate this, let's come back to this later. It means that I haven't gone off on a long tirade about something deeply personal that I think in hindsight, well, maybe I shouldn't have talked so much about that. Or it means that I start getting very political in a sense that even my little bracket, boilerplate, hey, everything in this stream, everything in this video is indicative of me and my content, my views, and my perspectives, not necessarily in any form that of the Dawn of Victory Project, the Templin Institute, or any other team members, right? I can say that, I can put that boilerplate on it, but then if I start going on about, I don't know, Israel being a colonialist settler state, then maybe later on I'm like, do I really want to associate me hating colonialism and thinking that genocide is a bad thing with the broader brand? I don't want to cause any problems. Right, that's why these typically don't make it to video. We must annihilate Netanyahu. Shit, there goes the VOD. Yep, same thought. Yep, there we go. Glad we're on the same page. So, I had a wonderful afternoon. I caught up with a very dear friend of mine, my best friend Brian. We went on a drive, hung out by the water, had some food, watched ducks, had a couple of drinks, sat at a bar outside while it was raining, listening to the little drip drop raindrops on top of the thin roof on top of us, watched traffic roll by in the rain. I got nice things said about me by a flirtatious stranger who I didn't realize was trying to flirt with me until I already walked past her and felt awkward about turning around. It was a nice day. I was so focused on like, yes, I'm here with my friend and we are going to sit down, that I'm like, oh, of course, this random lady I'm passing isn't gonna tell me that I'm beautiful and touch my arm and make eye contact with me, leaving me all flustered. That's not gonna happen. I might be in bed feeling tired and hungry and cold, but I don't want to miss. But I don't miss. True. I should make this a charity event for my dearly incapacitated mod and assistant. Start a fundraiser for my favorite Argentinian. Skylark. Skylark is a cool name. It's a bird, right? Skylark's a bird. Skylark. It's also a bar and club. Somewhere in Seattle. That's interesting. We should be checking Wiktionary so we don't accidentally dox ourselves. That's another reason why videos don't make their way onto YouTube, is me Googling stuff and doxing myself unintentionally. Or going into edit, what account is editing the spreadsheet and showing accounts I don't want to show. It's very common. And it's not that big of a deal, but also it's like, well, you know, maybe I couldn't be dumb about this. So, Skylarks are 1809, possibly nautical, possibly influenced by Northern English dialectical term lakelak, to play, from Old Norse leka, to play, as opposed to work. See lark for details, as if on a lark. A small, brown, passerine bird, Anuda arvenicis, that sings as it flies through the air. Okay, I mean, it's a bird. I feel like skylarks have tiny little docks, though. Yeah, I mean, if anyone ever wanted to dox me, all they have to do is convince Cabra. Cabra has not incriminating information on me, but definitely, like, embarrassing information about me, or scandalous information about me, intimate details about me. So there you go, social engineers. There's your mark, not me. I feel like skylarks have some, like, greater cultural connotation. Maybe not. Singlish Ariel, the Skylark of Space by E.E. Smith, one of the first space opera stories. Yeah, maybe. Tell me more about E.E. Smith. What's the story about? Edward E. Doc Smith. He, him. Okay, alright. A white British man. My motivation to immortalize you amongst the stars. Not starting off on a good note. Gonna level with you, my man. The idealistic protagonist, Dick Seaton. I got your Dick Seaton right here. Against the mercantile antagonist, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark what? Duquesne? Mark what he? I'm not reading that. No. Edward E. Smith. What the fuck, man? Why are you naming your antagonist that? That's not okay. That's a problem. It goes faster than light, to exchange X, and the resulting flight accidentally set the full acceleration and uncontrolled trajectory until the copper power bar is exhausted at a vast distance from Earth's solar system. Using an object compass that once locked onto an object always points towards that object, Seaton and Crane followed Duquesne in their own spaceship, the eponymous Skylark, to rescue Dorothy and her fellow hostage, Margaret Peg Spencer. And I'll tell you right now, Right now, somebody with the nickname Peg or Peggy doesn't need saving. She's gonna turn you into the damsel in distress if you play your cards right. Until the Skylark discovers Duquesne's ship derelict in orbit around a massive dead star resembling a cold neutron star. Having to take the hostages, extracts a promise from Duquesne to act as one of the party until they get back to Earth. Right, because you didn't know how to wrap up the story, in which relationship they could leave orbit and further travel in search of additional fuel. With the exception of the work of H.G. Wells, possibly those of Jules Verne, and almost no other writer, it's inspired more imitators, done more to change the nature of all science fiction written after it than almost any other single work. Well, fuck, man. Frederick Pohl, you're making quite a case for it. Mike Ashley calling it the seminal space opera. Despite its influence, a critical reception mix, Groff Conquin's review of the 1950 edition noted that this tale is the sort of thing that only insatiable fans will enjoy, being uncommonly amateur and awkward. It sounded like it to me. Isaac Asimov wrote that it had adventure of an unprecedented kind, the first great classic of American science fiction. Oh, he's American, not British. American author, possibly USA. Correct. Skylark's pretty interesting, actually. I would give this one a green. I'm on board with that. Swang? Swang? Swang seems like a step away from swag. Fictional Sun and the Hollow Earth from the 1892 English book The Goddess of Atvatabar, or The History of the Discovery of the Interior World by William R. Bradshaw. Ooh, Gutenberg Project. Hell yeah. Urban Knight. Hell yeah. Oh, love to see those on covers. There's something just really tactile about it. Like I can almost imagine feeling that worn fabric. It's not even like especially nice fabric. Or maybe it was like felt at one point, but it's been so touched and loved that it's worn down and threadbare. Oh, it's such a good feeling on old books. Yeah. Okay. So, Swang is the name of the fictional sun. Tell me more about the Goddess of Atvatabar. Bradshaw. He was an active proponent of anti-vivisectionism. Very interesting. Member of the Republican Party, served as Republican Party in the early 20th century. Little different. So, entering the interior of the world from a Sim's hole, the protagonists from the world above find an advanced civilization who use spiritual power to do everything from maintain youth to resurrect the dead in a civil war that erupts following the Atvatabar goddess's love for a surface man, Lexington White. Well, what a great generic white guy name. The ruling powers are overthrown and Lexington White becomes the new king of Atvatabar. The goddess is queen and rich trade relations with the surface are opened. Oh my god, this is such a fantastic power fantasy for the late 19th century. So a white man goes to a strange, new, rich world full of spiritual fulfillment that he couldn't find in his own culture, with exotic technologies and the fountain of youth, and then the hottest mama jama in that land wanted him for his hot white bod, and they were wed, and then she handed over control of the entire domain to him, and he became living god king colonialist, but like they wanted to be colonized, so it's okay. God, yeah, this is very, very late 19th century American. Holy hell. I think it's alright. I think it's okay is a name. Is it good? No. But it's interesting. I mean, it's a good dig. It's a good, it's a deep dive, right? Urban Knight's doing some great deep dives with these fictional stars and fictional names from around this time period. Ooh, but 1942, 1942, 1933, I might reject all of those purely by the dates. Oh no. Well, that's kind of sad. So yeah, I'll keep swaying around. But, no, we'll call it fictional. Almost. Fictional star from the 1942 English book Beyond the Farthest Star by Edgar Rice Burroughs, written in 1940. These are all American. Interesting. No, Skylark. It was published in an English. No, it was published by the Buffalo Book Company, which is not an English publisher. American. I'm just gonna add these to clarify what kind of English it is and what kind of English lingual region it should be in. Not Canadian, not American. American, ew. I don't know, you like some American things. Not a lot of American things, but like some American things. No. Too real? Is that a self-loathing thing? Deep shame for the love of, love of a gringo? Forbidden love affair. Motherfucker can't even pronounce Spanish words. You're Cascadian, it doesn't count. That's coping. That's coping. I'm here for it. I'm gonna enable your coping, but it is coping. It is coping. I was born in Kentucky. I'm white trash. Kanapa. Beyond the Furthest Star. Is this particularly important? Alright, then off to the work camp, hillbilly. What kind of work are we talking about? If work camp, you mean bedroom. Okay. If by work camp you mean gulag. Honestly, I kind of deserve it. So, you know, if the revolution comes for me, well, at least somebody's getting off. That's a bad joke. You crush rocks into tinier rocks and shove the tinier rocks into the asses of fellow Americans. That's just good, medical care in this country. I don't love, Beyond the Furthest Star. The 1942 date is a little too late for me. And it doesn't seem especially remarkable or important. So I'm not wild about it. Now, I kinda don't want any Cthulhu mythos stuff, which I think is a little discordant with the kind of Easter eggs and self-inserting or referential, that's the word I should say, referential kind of world building that Mark wants to do. We do want to, you know, pay homage occasionally, but like Lovecraft was a racist piece of shit And I'd rather not pull from any of his works, if I'm being honest with you. He was a raging anti-Semite, just an unabashed racist. And, you know, Cthulhu is iconic, absolutely, but I want to be careful with honoring a piece of shit like that, even tangentially. Even tangentially. Yamil Zakra, so it's a fake-ass name. Oh. Well, it's Cthulhu Mythos by Clark Ashton Smith. Wait, did you do this intentionally? Urban Knight? You problematic, Clark? I'm gonna level with you. I'm really surprised that there is no horny webcam ads on screen right now. Gonna be real. I'm really surprised that we haven't hit any of those, as I've been seeing a lot of those lately. Okay, I'm going to Google you, Clark Ashton Smith, and I'm really hoping you passed the vibe check. H.P. Lovecraft stated that in sheer demonic strangeness and fertility of conception, Clark Ashton Smith is perhaps unexcelled. Ray Bradbury said that Smith filled my mind with incredible words, impossibly beautiful cities, and still more fantastic creatures. He achieved early local recognition largely through the enthusiasm of George Sterling for traditional verse, in the vein of Swinburne. As a poet, Smith is grouped with the West Coast Romantics, along with Joaquin Miller, Sterling, and Nora Mae French, and remembered as the last of the great Romantics, the Bard of Auburn. God damn it. A lot of that really fucks this description, so I'm gonna have to put you in USA and come back to you later for your non-fictional pieces. When the big three of Weird Tales with Robert E. Howard and R.P. Lovecraft, some of the readers objected to his morbidness and violation of pulp traditions. The fantasy writer and critic L. Sprague de Camp said of him that nobody since Poe has so loved a well-rotted corpse. Smith was a member of the Lovecraft Circle, and his literary friendship with Lovecraft lasted until Lovecraft's death in 1937. His work is marked with an extraordinarily rich and ornate vocabulary, a cosmic perspective, and a vein of sardonic and sometimes ribald humor. I'm really liking what I'm reading about this guy. Of his writing style, Smith said, "My own conscious ideal has been to delude the reader into accepting an impossibility, or a series of impossibilities, by means of a sort of verbal black magic, in the sense of which I make use of prose, rhythm, metaphor, simile, tone, color, counterpoint, and other stylistic resources, like a sort of incantation." Oh no. Oh no. 1927 to 1928, the trip to Sumatra and alleged kidnappings. I guess we should just scroll on down there. What? What? You're making this up, maybe? Is this a joke? It's in quotations? 20th century author Wikipedia page be like, oh, I missed the first part of that. I'm like, no, Cabra, no, don't ruin a terrible white man for me. God damn it, I thought I found the one good white man of the early 20th century. You can't do this to me. Let me have one good gringo. His health broke down. For 8 years, his literary period was intermediate, though he produced his best poetry during this period. Okay, I'm gonna say something contentious here. Sad people do good work. Depressed people make really, really good art. People who are in pain, people who are suffering from an existential condition, whether it be a physical malady, whether it be a mental disorder, whatever it is, the ability of some people in those conditions and situations to take the rich visceralness of what they're experiencing and turn that into art can be fucking incredible. I don't want to fetishize depression, I don't want to fetishize mental illness, and I'm certainly not trying to do that here. But credit where credit's due, sad guy who ate yellow paint because he was trying to get happiness inside of him and ended up cutting off his own ear before committing suicide much later, made some of the most beautiful pieces of art the world has ever known. Why? Well, in part colored by his exhaustively soul-crushing depression. If we're talking about Van Gogh, right? And I think there's something to it. I don't want to fetishize it. I don't want to be like, hey kids, you want to make good art? Get real sad. Don't. But there's beauty in pain sometimes. And pleasure in pain if you do it right, and you know, that kind of predilection, but not everyone does. I do, but not everyone does. Published Sandalwood, which was partly funded by a gift of $50 from Donald Vondre. Vondre? He's not rich. That's a green flag. That's a green flag for me. He's not rich. At the beginning of the Depression, with his aged parents' health weakening, he resumed writing fiction, turned out more than 100 short stories between 1929 and 1934, nearly all of which can be classified as weird horror or science fiction. Like Lovecraft, he drew upon nightmares that had been plaguing him during his youthful spells of sickness. Brian Stableford had written that the stories written in this brief phase of hectic productivity constitute one of the most remarkable oeuvres. Oh god. Oeuvres? This means like periods of inspiration, like. But it's French, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Ouvert? Oeuvre? Oeuvre.
Une œuvre.
Oeuvre. Stupid fucking word. French fake language. Dumb language. Every good white man needs a silly little rich friend. Just, you know. I'm just saying. I would not be opposed to a sucrose guardian. I'm not saying I'm looking for a sugar mama. I'm not saying that I would say yes to a sugar daddy. I'm just saying the offer wouldn't hurt. Can one silly little sad NB get financial support maybe in exchange for being cute and maybe, I don't know, some other things? No. Typical. He seems fine. Seems good even. Weird fiction falls into hyperborea, Poseidonitis. He doesn't seem problematic. This is really weird. Seems good. It just seems good. These are fine. These are fine and good. Look, C.S. Lewis, truly an iconic figure in fictional media. 1938 is after 1933, and I'm just gonna arbitrarily throw it out because of that. Named after the Mayan volcano, Mount Mayan, named after legendary princess heroine Daragang Magayon? Literally, beautiful lady. Huh. Mayong? Okay, so no, her full name means beautiful lady. So, the name just means lady. Right? I bet. No. Well, fuck. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. What language is this? Tagalog? You actually gonna help me with this? Yeah, I didn't fucking think so. Filipino? That an option? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, Wiktionary. You gonna help me out? English, Tagalog. Okay. Tagalog. It's Tagalog, and I don't know why I'm pronouncing it wrong. Beautiful. It just means beautiful. Outside of its context. Okay. No. Daragang? Look, man, it means beautiful. Why are you looking the gift horse in the mouth? I don't need to. I don't need to look the gift horse in the mouth. We can just say, oh, okay, that's pretty, and move on. Named after a volcano situated on a lake, also for the Talan tree that grew around the river with the same name. Batangueño? Tagalog for true, genuine, and pure. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm sore. Stress will do that. Okay, yeah. True, genuine, pure. Works for me. Let's verify. Y'all really gonna make me go to a second source? Or are you gonna talk about this in etymology? True, genuine, pure, Tal, T-A-A-L, and T-A-A-L is all we're going with? Yes, okay. Combintinga, Land of Princes, the old name of Ouagadougou, capital of the Mossi Empire in modern-day Burkina Faso, before it was taken over and renamed by Wubri, Prince of the Mossi. Right, when was that? (1441). Yeah, we're probably just going with the Ouagadougou. No etymology. Etymologussy, I guess is how you'd say that. What no etymologussy will do to a motherfucker. Yenenga, swim. 12th century warrior princess, considered to be the mother of the Mossi people. In the modern day, a city construction project in Burkina Faso is named after her. Okay, well, that's a really good precedent. Legendary princess, considered the mother of the... Too important. Very cool. Too important. You get orange. It's making the list, but too important. No etymologussy got you browsing online. For real. Feels bad. Damn, Cabra. Some of us are staring down the barrel of a dry streak and just coming in hot. That real talk. More. Literally stallion. The son of... Okay, her son. And founder of the Mossi Empire. Considered... Alright, well, no. Great name. Likewise, too important. Angkor Wat? We're back here again, huh? Fair enough. Hindu-Buddhist temple complex in Cambodia. Also, the temple that is emblazoned on the national flag and historical flags of Cambodia. True facts. Why name something new after it, though? Because it means the city of temples. It is specifically within an ancient capital city of Angkor, which, if we were to go with one name, it would be that, wouldn't it? It probably would. Originally constructed as a Hindu temple dedicated to the deity Vishnu, and gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple towards the end of the century. Angkor literally is just capital city, also known as Yoshodapura. You gonna tell me what the etymology means? No, of course you're not. Yashodharapura. I would rather it be named Angkor. I would rather it be named Yashodharapura. As referred in the inscriptions of Nom Kandal, Central Mountain. Nam Bakang was constructed just before the foundation of Yashodharapura due to the belief that the mountain, was amongst the holiest places to worship Hindu deities. Linked to an earlier capital by a causeway, urban complex included the East Baray. Angkor, derived from Nokor, a Khmer word meaning kingdom, which derived Sanskrit Nagara, meaning city. The Angkorian period began in 802. Yeah, I mean, Angkor, not Angkor Wat, just Angkor would be pretty good. Yeah, let's try this. Capital city. Khmer capital city. And Hindu-Buddhist complex in Cambodia. It's very significant. I would rather just go with Angkor, though. I really, really would. Is this, however, correct without the vat at the end? It is. Nice. It means city, essentially. That's okay. That's okay. That's a pretty good one. Hamatan Tui, a dry and dusty wind that blows from the Sahara over West Africa to the Gulf of Guinea, causing the related Harmattan season, also an important factor in the West African monsoon cycle. We do love some winds. Who doesn't love to get blown? Temperature is cold at night, can be hot during the daytime, dry season. It's also known as the doctor wind because of its invigorating dryness compared with humid tropical air. Sure. Dust carried by Harmattan increases infant and child mortality as well as persistent adverse health impacts on surviving children. Humidity can drop 15%, which can result in spontaneous nosebleeds. Other health effects on humans include conditions of the skin, dried or chapped lips, eyes, and respiratory systems, including aggravation of asthma. Okay, well, less, not a good doctor wind, but certainly a doctor wind. Kinabalu, named after Mount Kinabalu, the tallest mountain in Borneo, derived from Dusun Gayo Negaran or Nulu Nabalu. Right, wait, okay, it's derived from those. What the fuck do those mean? Signifying revered place of the dead. Another possible interpretation, which translates to a widowed mother. Some propose that the results of two Dosun words have mountain or have mountain. It's common practice amongst the Dosun people to name places based on distinctive features or characteristics, exemplified by naming a place Kiweg, meaning having water. Popular story told to Western Chinese tourists that the name Kinabalu actually means Sinabalu, meaning Chinese widow. Due to lingual influence among the Katazan Dusun of Sabah, the pronunciation of the word Sina, China, was changed to Kina. An earlier book by Spencer St. John, published in 1863, mentioned the Kinabalu, Chinese widow, as a reference to the mountain. The story lacks coherence due to the likelihood Dusun people who've lived in the area for 6,000 years would not have been aware of the word China, and thus would not have translated it to Kina to refer to Chinese people or China. Yeah, that's kind of a given. Ah, yes, quinoa. Is it contentious to say that I don't like quinoa? Is that a problem? Is that gonna get me canceled? I know as a good, granola eating hippie fucking leftist, I'm supposed to like quinoa, but it kind of sucks. I mean, it's just like shitty rice. Not a big fan. Maybe, actually, I had a nice quinoa salad like a year and a half ago. And now that I say that, I'm like, wasn't that nice? Or did I just like the person who gave it to me? I think I just liked the person who gave it to me. They're very nice people. It was very sweet. And it's very healthy. Okay, so the meaning of this is like either revered place of the dead, widow mother, have mountain. Yeah, it's broad. It's broad. Third highest peak of an island on Earth. That is interesting. I'll leave it. Named after the Magnetnaya Mountain, magnetic mountain. The mountain was used as a source for raw materials. The city of Magnitogorsk was named after this mountain. It's Russian. Okay, sojourner. We're getting Russian with it. When was it named this? 1740. The Bashkirs called the mountain Atash. In Bakshir, its ore had been in use for a long time, thus gave an excellent results. Okay. It was the site of a large metallurgical plant. Sure. I guess. I suppose. Not a strong one, but sure. Food is better with the aftertaste of the chef's lips. I mean, I know you're sick, but can I cook for you? I will make... What would I make? A bronchitis-ridden mod. Do you like pho? I'd make you pho. Fuck you. I'm not making a fuck pun. Genuinely, I think pho is a very good sick food. It's a very good spicy, hearty stew that's still light in consistency, so it's good for keeping hydrated, but also adding in spices to start getting the sinuses going and be able to breathe a little bit and be able to fucking feel something. I think pho, especially like pho ga, Fuck. Gao? Is fuck Gao what I'm thinking of? Specifically, like, pho made hot enough that you have tripe that you put in. Oh, it's so good. And watching it cook, so fucking good. Can't believe you'd make me pho, SMH. I absolutely would. That'd be fun. I make so much fucking soup for myself. For me, if I'm sick, my favorite sick food, or the most comforting sick food for me, pho is up there for, like, actually feeling better, but, like, if I want to feel good in my heart and my soul, tomato soup and grilled cheese. Nothing fancy, like, pretty poor white people staples, because that is what my mom would make for me when I was sick as a kid. So that is what makes me happiest when I'm sick to get to eat. And I haven't actually had tomato soup with grilled cheese in years at this point. I should remedy that. It doesn't have to be fancy. Honestly, sometimes cheaper the better for getting that authentic grew up poor experience down, right? Chiwit Chiwa. Thai, animated, lively, energetic, full of life, bursting with energy. Okay. It's a good name. You actually giving me a dictionary? Hell yeah, gamer. You actually love to see it. And this is a phonetic examples, components, definition. It's an adjective. Fuck. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It's an adjective. Thai, literally hard-boned. I'm not gonna do it. Right, the joke is right there. It's an obvious joke. I got your hard bone right here, points to genitals, right? Like, it's so obvious, like, it feels dumb to do it, but also, like, I got your Kurduk Kang right here. Of a tough person, steel-wheeled, hard-boned, dauntless, idiom that means not dying easily. Okay, yeah. Oh, list of Thai the idioms. Nice. Which one was this again? Kraduk Kang? Why it not show up on the thing? Why it not show up on the thing? Oh, god damn. Gra. Dick Kraduk. Okay. Yep, no, Kraduk. Having hard bones. Calling bones, personification, a murder. Ooh. Where certain effects lead to the conviction of the murderer. Kraduk on. Soft bones. Having little fighting skills. Maybe that's more accurate. Maybe. You know, used to be Kraduk Khan. Hard bones, but then, you know, started on HRT, taking all these anti-androgens, and, you know, sometimes Kraduk gone, sometimes soft bones, sometimes. You gotta make a dick joke. You gotta make a dick joke. That is good. That's good, and is it culturally insensitive for me to be making dick jokes? Maybe. Maybe. There's a very real possibility of that being insensitive. That's entirely possible. I'm not a coward. I'm not gonna deny that the joke might not have worked, but Doi Inthanon, highest point in Thailand, named in honor of Intha Wikayonon. Let's try that again. Intha Wikayanon, The last king of Chiang Mai. Interesting. Beautiful. Holy hell. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. And with that view? You fucking kidding me? You fucking kidding me? I really love roof structures like this. I mean, kind of pagoda-y structures like this. This is not a pagoda. This is not a pagoda. But what I mean is like repetitive concentric shapes going up a spire or column or tower. I really like breaking this down into like smaller structures and the way that the angles are slightly different. Aesthetically, this is just so pretty to me. And pagodas are something else that I see it in that it reminds me of. But this obviously is not a fucking pagoda. God, that's a nice piece of metalworking. What is that? My brain is like, is that brass? That's probably not brass, Alex. Man, this is so pretty. I mean, it's not big, right? Like, I think the entire garden fits within this picture, but like, goddamn, what a beautiful little garden. And again, the view. Oh my god. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, fuck you. No, that can stay. I don't need any more context. I'm sold. Cool. Was, according to creation myth, the Vietnamese people, an immortal mountain snow goddess. Honored as a mother of Vietnamese civilization, traveled across Vietnam to help those who suffer from illnesses, since she was very skillful in medicine and had a sympathetic heart. Okay, cool. But like... yeah, see, there's my problem. Born egg sac that hatched 100 children, known as the ancestors to the Vietnamese people. She's the mother of Vietnamese civilization. Well, she didn't, like, literally create the world. She's just, like, mommy. Yeah, no, that's fine. We can have deific mommy vibes. That's fine. But Vietnamese is not categorized solely as Vietnamese. It's Austroasiatic, yes. The most, like, broad, vaguely offensive name I could think to put in there. Is Khmer its own thing? Well, let's find out. I think Khmer probably falls under the same, broad-ass category. And that feels reductive. Thai is, however, its own thing, because Thai is of a slightly different family. Isn't that? Well, no, I'm seeing Thai in Austroasiatic. No, I'm seeing Thai down here. That was a mistake. These two don't belong up here. You go on Dai? Was that right? Fuck. Da cry? Motherfucker, I scrolled past it, didn't I? Okay, we're gonna drop you off here. And we're gonna... Dai. Dai. K-R-A-D-A-I. K-R-A-D-A-I. We're gonna scroll down, make our way past G, H, I, J, K, Crawdai. There we go. And then we'll just correct this. Beautiful. And we will go in here, correct that as well. Lovely. Lovely. Let us get rid of the rejects for today. Austrian racist attic. Yeah, it sounds racist, right? Austroasiatic. It sounds like that's, you know, codified in some sort of 19th century racially oriented something. Like, it feels problematic. Whether it is or isn't, it's hard to say. Well, probably not that hard to say. I think someone more educated on the subject might have an easier time saying. Hard for me to say. Oh, there's some Spanish down here in Swahili. Somebody pointed this out a while ago, and then I proceeded to not fix it for a while, and then forget it was there, and... yeah, well, we gotta eventually Russian. Why are you always on time? It's because I'm always Russian. I'm dead inside. I'm not. But it's fun to highlight bad jokes like that with some dark humor. Why? I don't know. Contrast? Yeah, well, no, it sounds like you do know, Alex. That's a pretty good reason. You do love chiaroscuro. You do love interplay between shadow and light. We love to mix in darker themes with more lighthearted themes in order to more greatly elevate, highlight, and celebrate both. Okie dokie, Austroasiatic, there we fucking go. How long have we been at this? About an hour. Ah, yep, and the next 3-minute ad is here. I'm gonna snooze that. So we're done with this. We don't have any new recommendations on any of the other bounties, as far as I recall, and as far as I'm aware. But of course, I will do my due diligence and double check and double check and double check. There are some very cool changes coming to the map, some updates, a lot of problems fixed, but as the map has not been updated for the general public yet, it is not something that I can show off quite yet. Rest assured, however, we had a very productive meeting last week where a lot of these typos have been dealt with, changes have been submitted and actually put into place, some shit's been moved around, actually some interesting shit's been moved around, and we probably would have seen it today, but today turned into another sick day. Chronic illness is going to be like that. But next time, we should see some very nice changes. The meeting that I had last week, I can't talk about specific details. Very exciting. I'm so looking forward to getting to this part of the map. Oh, it looks so pretty. And up here, like, holy shit, it's just so fucking pretty. And there's just the artistic talent behind the graphic design of these nebula, of the use of negative space, particularly in parts we can't look at right now, is genuinely, for me in the moment, was awe-inspiring. And I'm very excited to be able to show it off and to share it. But I don't really want to hop too much into coming up with good names right now, doing any more of that. Notably, there is a new bounty that's locked that we are thinking about implementing soon for original non-referential system names. They need to be grammatically correct, not made up words, but not in reference to any real people, places, or things, nor fictional people, places, or things. These would be things like the Well of Embers is a perfect in-universe example, so we wanted to make a bounty specific for these so we could sort through them. But, of course, it's not live yet. We also have some very interesting conversations around the corner. A lot of cool stuff I can't dig too much into, but I'm feeling very positively, very hopeful, and very excited for what comes next. But we gotta get there first, right? I don't really want to sit here and come up with too many names tonight. I am exhausted. My voice is clearly already going. I think that I would like to relax. God, maybe take a bath. Get pinned against the wall. Yeah, something like that. We'll see where the evening takes me. In whatever case, thank you for hanging out. I feel like it's been a productive day. I am still slowly getting back my own energy as well after a slow, somewhat difficult May. I don't know how much I will be streaming this week, but honestly, if Capra whines and is like, Alex, I'm sick, you need to stream Daggerfall because I'm gonna emotionally manipulate you, it'll probably work. No lie. If people submit a lot of new names and are excited about them, that too would emotionally manipulate me into doing another one of these streams. Otherwise, I'm likely just focusing on some IRL productivity stuff and just taking some space for myself. But of course, I'm accessible if you need me, if you want me, call me, beat me if you want to reach me, etc., etc. Can possible. Until later. Whenever it is that later happens to be, I'm going to say thank you again for hanging out. I always appreciate the company. Until the next time, I'm going to say toodaloo. Take care. I will see you then. Bye-bye.